Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We have been discussing NEETPG based multiple choice questions from community medicine over the past few days. Today we are going to discuss two very important MCQs from epidemiology. Alright, and for those who don't know me, this is Dr. Aishwarya. I have completed my MD in community medicine. So let's quickly get on to the topic. So the question is 200 smokers and 600 non-smokers were followed up for a period of 10 years to find out the incidence of hypertension. Out of 200 smokers, 60 developed hypertension compared to 600 non-smokers, of which 30 developed hypertension. Calculate the risk ratio of the study. Now go through the question once again. There are 200 smokers, 600 non-smokers. They are followed up for a period of 10 years to find out the incidence of hypertension. I think these keywords are more than enough to find out what type of study is this. Yes, you're right, it's a cohort study because smokers and non-smokers are being followed up for a period of 10 years to find out the incidence of hypertension. Out of 200 smokers, we have 60 who are developing hypertension, and compared to 600 non-smokers, of which 30 developed hypertension. Calculate the risk ratio of the study. Risk ratio is nothing but relative risk. Alright. So to calculate relative risk, let's understand what is relative risk first. Now, since in the given question, the study is a cohort study and they're asking you to calculate the relative risk, you must know about the analysis in a cohort study. So analysis in a cohort study is usually done by calculation of incidence rates among exposed and non-exposed group, and the strength of association is determined by estimation of risk. So we have relative risk, attributable risk and population attributable risk. So let's discuss them one by one in detail. Now let's first understand how to calculate the incidence rates. We'll take an example of smoking and lung cancer. Alright, smoking and lung cancer. So in the exposure status, here we have the smokers and we have the non-smokers. And among the disease status, we have individuals who have lung cancer and those who do not have lung cancer. Now what is A? A is nothing but the deceased individuals among the exposed group, and B is the non-deceased individuals among the exposed group. C is deceased individuals among the non-exposed group, and D is non-deceased individuals among the non-exposed group. Alright, and A plus B will be the total number of smokers and C plus D will be the total number of non-smokers. Now A plus B plus C plus D will be the total population. Alright. Now how to calculate the incidence? We all know that incidence is nothing but the number of new cases divided by the population at risk. Now how will you calculate the incidence rate for smokers? The number of new cases divided by population at risk. So for smokers, number of new cases is A and population at risk is A plus B. So incidence rate for smokers will be A by A plus B. Alright. This will be for the exposed group. And for the non-exposed group, that is non-smokers, how will you calculate? Again, new cases divided by population at risk. For non-exposed group, new case will be C. So C divided by population at risk, which is C plus D. Alright. So incidence rate among non-exposed group will be C by C plus D. Now, how will you calculate incidence rate for the total population? Total population, what will be the number of new cases? New cases will be all the deceased individuals, which will be A plus C divided by population at risk, which is the total population, A plus B plus C plus D. Alright, so this is how you will calculate the incidence rates. Now let's discuss about the estimation of risk. The strength of association in a cohort study is given by relative risk, second is attributable risk, and third is population attributable risk. Now first let's discuss about the relative risk. Relative risk is given as the ratio between the incidence of disease among exposed and incidence of disease among non-exposed. In the previous slide, we have already discussed that the incidence of disease among exposed is A by A plus B, and those among non-exposed is C by C plus D. So the ratio between these two is your relative risk, which is A by A plus B divided by C by C plus D. This is your relative risk. Now, if the relative risk value is equal to 1, it means no association between the risk factor and the disease. If the relative risk value is more than 1, it is positive association. And if the relative risk value is less than 1, it means negative association. Negative association means what? The exposure is protective in nature. Exposure is protective. Now, how will you interpret the value of a relative risk? Say, for example, in a study between smoking and lung cancer, you got a relative risk value of equal to 7. Now, value is 7. It is more than 1. It means there is positive association between the risk factor and the disease. That is between smoking and lung cancer. The value is 7. It means what? Lung cancer is 7 times more common among smokers when compared to non-smokers. In short, relative risk refers to how common is the disease among the exposed group when compared to the non-exposed group. So this is all about the relative risk. Now next is attributable risk. Now attributable risk is given as the difference in the incidence rates among the exposed and the non-exposed group. So it is given as the difference in the incidence rate among exposed group and non-exposed group, and it is expressed in the form of a percentage. So how it is calculated? Incidence of disease among exposed minus incidence of disease among non-exposed divided by incidence of disease among exposed into 100. So we have already seen in the previous slides, incidence of disease among exposed is A by A plus B minus incidence of disease among non-exposed, which is C by C plus D divided by A plus B into 100. So this is how attributable risk is calculated. Now attributable risk refers to what? It indicates to what extent the disease can be attributed to the risk factor. Okay, extent to which the disease is attributed to risk factor. Okay, for example, if in a study of smoking and lung cancer, attributable risk is 60%. It means what? What does this attributable risk of 60% refers to? It refers to 60% of lung cancer is due to smoking. Okay, so this is all about attributable risk. Now next is population attributable risk. Population attributable risk is nothing but the amount of disease that can be reduced if the suspected risk factor has been eliminated from the population. It is calculated as the incidence of disease among the total population minus incidence of disease among the unexposed divided by incidence of disease among the total population into 100. Now we have discussed regarding the calculation of the incidence rates among the exposed, non-exposed and the total population. If you didn't get it, I'll explain it here once again. So we have the smokers, we have the non-smokers, and we have the deceased individuals. Those who have lung cancer, those who do not have lung cancer, and the total population A, B, C and D. Now the total exposed will be A plus B. Total non-exposed, non-smokers will be C plus D. Now the incidence among the exposed smokers will be number of new cases by population at risk. For smokers, new cases is A. So A by A plus B. And incidence among non-exposed will be same number of new cases divided by the population at risk. So C by C plus D, which is the population at risk for non-exposed. Now incidence among the total population. Total population, the number of new cases will be A plus C, which is the entire deceased individuals. So A plus C divided by population at risk for total population will be the entire population A plus B plus C plus D. Now you have to substitute in the formula. So incidence of disease among total population, yes, it is A plus C divided by A plus B plus C plus D minus non-exposed group C by C plus D divided by incidence among the total population. It is A plus C divided by A plus B plus C plus D into 100. Okay, now what does this population attributable risk refer to? It refers to the amount of disease that can be reduced if the suspected risk factor has been eliminated in the population. Say for example, if population attributable risk is 86%. What does that mean? It means that 86% reduction in the annual incidence of lung cancer if the risk factor has been eliminated, that is if smoking has been eliminated from the population. So 86% reduction in the annual incidence of lung cancer if smoking has been eliminated from the population. If smoking has been eliminated from the population. Alright. So this is about population attributable risk. Now that we have discussed about the estimation of risk, relative risk, attributable risk, population attributable risk, and the calculation of incidence rates, let's come back to the question. In a study, 200 smokers and 600 non-smokers were followed up for a period of 10 years to find out the incidence of hypertension. And out of 200 smokers, 60 developed hypertension, and out of 600 non-smokers, 30 developed hypertension. Calculate the risk ratio. So I already told you that risk ratio is nothing but the relative risk. They are asking you to calculate the relative risk for this question. Alright. Now first let's make a table for this question so that it will be easy for us to calculate the relative risk. Okay. So in the question it is given as the total number of smokers. The total number of smokers is 200, out of which 60 developed hypertension. Okay. And non-smokers. Non-smokers we have 600 non-smokers, out of which 30 have developed hypertension. Now let's make the table. Smokers and we have non-smokers. Now the deceased individuals, that is those who have developed hypertension, and this will be the non-deceased individuals. Those who did not develop hypertension. Okay, those who have not developed hypertension, and here this will be the total. Okay. Alright. Now, total number of smokers in our study is 200 and total non-smokers is 600. So, this total will be 800. Now, out of this 200, 60 developed hypertension and out of this 600 non-smokers, 30 developed hypertension. So, total deceased individuals will be 90. Okay. So, what will be the total non-deceased? Out of this 800, 90 are deceased. So, remaining 710 will be non-deceased. Okay. And out of smokers, out of 200 smokers, 60 have developed the disease. So, remaining 140 are non-deceased. And out of 600 non-smokers, 30 have developed the disease. So, remaining 570 are non-deceased. Okay. This is how you have to create a table. And once you have made this table correctly, it is very easy for you to calculate the answer. Okay, so they have asked you the relative risk in question, and relative risk we have already discussed. It is nothing but incidence among exposed divided by incidence among non-exposed. So it is nothing but how common is your disease among the exposed individuals. Now, how to calculate this incidence among exposed? Incidence is nothing but new cases divided by population at risk. Okay, here incidence for exposed is only smokers. So, new cases is nothing but 6 divided by population at risk, that is smokers. It is 200. If you remember, A, B, C and D. We have already discussed all these things. Incidence among exposed was A by A plus B. Okay, A by A plus B, and for non-exposed it was C by C plus D. All these things we have already discussed. Now incidence among non-exposed. So number of new cases is 30 divided by C plus D, which is population at risk, divided by 600. Now what is the relative risk? Ratio between incidence among exposed and non-exposed. Okay, so I am just substituting in the formula 60 divided by 200, which should be 30 divided by 600, which is nothing but 60 by 200 into 600 divided by 30. Okay, so this is nothing but 6. So relative risk or the risk ratio is nothing but 6. Okay, so it is more than 1. Relative risk value more than 1 is positive association, which means there is association between smoking and lung cancer, and the value is 6. So what is your interpretation? Interpretation is lung cancer is 6 times more common among smokers when compared to non-smokers. Alright. So answer to that question is 6, which is option D. Now the answer to the question is option D, that is 6. So we got a relative risk value of 6. If value is more than 1, it means positive association. Alright. So it means that hypertension is 6 times more common among smokers compared to non-smokers. Alright, so this is the interpretation for this question. Now the next question is, several studies have shown that 85% of cases of lung cancer are due to cigarette smoking. It is a measure of. Now you can get direct questions like this. Also you can get some calculation based questions like the previous one from this topic. Alright, so this question is asking about 85% of cases of lung cancer are due to cigarette smoking. It is a measure of. Can this be incidence rate? No, this is not incidence because we know that incidence is number of new cases divided by population at risk. So it's not referring to incidence. Can this be relative risk? It's not relative risk because relative risk is how common is the disease among the exposed group. So it's not relative risk. Can this be attributable risk? Yes, because attributable risk refers to the extent to which the disease can be attributed to the risk factor. So here 85% of the disease is attributed to risk factor. So this is directly referring to attributable risk. Can this be population attributable risk? It's not population attributable risk because population attributable risk means the amount of disease that can be reduced if the suspected risk factor has been eliminated from the population. So this is not population attributable risk. So the answer to this question is option C, attributable risk. Alright. So with this, I'll conclude the discussion in this topic. If you find these videos interesting and useful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and comment below for more such videos. Thank you.